Hello, I'm Virginia Sisiopiku from UAB, and the product that I would like to introduce is a questionnaire survey of transportation user behaviors. Our goal in our study was to gain some insights into users' attitudes, preferences, and choices toward TNC services, transportation network services like Uber and Lyft. The questionnaire that we developed was part of a strike project called Technology Influence on Travel Demand and Behaviors. So it is broadly recognized that user travel preferences, attitudes, and perceptions affect mode choices. And so understanding the motivators and barriers becomes important for addressing travelers' needs in general and facilitating adoption of new modes and services in particular. This was our motivation for this part of the study and the development of the questionnaire. When new travel modes are introduced, service providers and planners alike need to know first what are the reasons that make travelers switch from their current mode preference to the new mode or not. And secondly, what are the impacts of those choices on network performance? In order to answer such questions, the stakeholders need some tools and models that they can use to help them understand the impacts of travelers' choices in the markets where new travel modes are introduced. The way to go often is to develop a detailed questionnaire survey that can be used to document these behaviors and preferences. Each survey is different, so our product can be used as a sample for others to replicate, but the steps that one takes in order to have a successful survey study are similar. So typically you need to select the survey platform. That was Qualtrics platform in our case. You need to carefully select the questions that you would like to put in the survey and develop the questionnaire and then pretest the survey instrument to make sure that it is easy to follow and captures the answers to the questions that you need to address. Often you need an IRB approval or exemption since it will involve human subjects. And then you have to have an approach to recruit participants, either directly or indirectly using some kind of a service. And then when the surveys start coming in, you have to check them carefully to do a soft launch first and then a full launch, but always make sure that the surveys are complete, clean up the responses before you analyze and interpret the results. In our study, we asked participants to report detailed trip information for a full typical day, 24 hours. It was like a travel diary, if you wish, because these inputs were important for some modeling effort that we have conducted as part of our project. So they had to report it the origin and destination of each trip they took during a typical day, the travel time, the trip purpose, and the travel mode that they used. And then we had follow-up questions that asked why they used this mode, and especially focusing on the use of TNCs like Uber and Lyft. And also if they didn't use or they didn't select the mode, why they don't like to use the particular mode. We also, of course, had the standard questions about demographic data that we used to perform our analysis and interpretation of the survey findings. I should emphasize here that transportation users' perceptions vary from place to place. So the instrument that we call our product can be used to understand determinants that drive people towards the use of TNC services or other modes at other locations, but sometimes I think that some changes and adaptations may be needed so that you have a good representation of local conditions. Understanding users' attitudes and preferences toward new modes of transportation is important because it helps us document needs, as well as identify implementation barriers and opportunities of the local markets. And with this information, the planners and stakeholders can make informed decisions regarding deployment, marketing, policies, and so on, in order to better serve the needs of the transportation users. Our survey is available through Stride. If you have questions or need additional information, feel free to contact me at any time. Thank you so much.